Here again with another Breaking Bad Season 3 episode review video. Before I get into that, the opening important. If you aren't caught up to the point where I am at rewatching or watching Breaking Bad, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention, as well as put in the description. If that happens to be the case and you find out you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers. And for those of you that are wondering, I've seen Breaking Bad many times. I can't even keep track of how many times I've seen the show. I love the show. It's definitely in my top 5 of all time, and I want to discuss it with you. So join me and Crazy Coffin Man in the comments section to talk about this amazing show. Don't be scared. Let's talk about Breaking Bad. With that in mind, this will be Breaking Bad Season 3, Episode 7. The title of this episode is called 1 Minute. And this will be my review, reaction, recap after just finishing watching the episode. Flashback to the twins playing outside when they were younger, being watched by Hector Salamanca. One of the twins says to Hector, he wishes that the other one was dead because of something that happened. I can't, like playing with a toy and he wanted a toy or something like that. So Tio, or Hector Salamanca, puts the twins' head in ice water for like 15 seconds. While the other one hits, Hector Salamanca, trying to get him to let him go. And then we go back to present time. The twins now have a picture of Hank Schrader, and they're doing their ritual thing. They probably crawled on the ground and did all that. Jesse arrives home. Hank pulls up. Hank clocks Jesse a bunch of times. He's like, bam, bam, bam. You have my phone number? You know my wife's name? He screams at Jesse. Then Hank realizes what he's done. He went way too far. He snapped and he realizes now, like, oh my God, I'm going to kill this kid. So he gets medical attention for Jesse Pinkman. Saul Goodman takes a picture of Jesse's face in the hospital. So we flash forward a little bit. Walt arrives and sees Jesse's horrible face. Walt says he never saw this coming. What happens now? Your scumbag brother-in-law is finished. Done, Jesse says. Ends with Hank putting a gun in his mouth and pulling the trigger to get Jesse, me, out of his head. That's what he wants. So, Walt had asked Jesse what he wants, and that's exactly what he wants. And Saul doesn't recommend that. Walt says, move on with your life. If the cops catch him, he'll give him what they want the most, and points to Walt. Give up the great Heisenberg. You're my free pass, bitch. He just had to add bitch at the end of that. And then Walt says Jesse wouldn't give up his name. He didn't do it yet, so why would he? Walt says he'll come around. Hank gives his statement to Merkett and the other suits, like lawyers. Hank is pleading the fifth of what happened when he went to Jesse's place. They did a toxicology screening, and Jesse Pinkman is clean. The suits need a photo of Agent Schrader's hand for the record. Tough guy, and so he gives them, lets them take a photo of his hand. He takes the Band-Aid off, or the tape off. And then tough guy Hank breaks down in the elevator to Marie, crying on her shoulder. And then back to normal once the elevator door opens. Skyler goes to Walt's place. Walt's surprised to see her. Do you have a minute? Yeah, sure. And then Skyler brings up what happened with Hank. And Skyler thinks that Walt can help because he knows Jesse Pinkman. And Walt says the person is not currently his friend. And then Walt tells Skyler, I'm late and have to go. And then Skyler leaves. So Skyler essentially wanted Walt to use what he has, the influence that he has on Jesse, to try to get Hank out of hot water. And then Walt arrives at the lab. Gail has dressed a little bit more professional today. And then Gail tells Walt this might be the beginning of a beautiful friendship. The Salamanca twins stop by to see a guy that has some great weaponry. Buying in bulk gets them a discount, and then they tell the arms dealer guy that they need vests, and he's asked if they work, and he says, don't leave home without it, and shows that he's wearing a vest. So he is shot to test out the vest. Other than a broken rib, the arms dealer would be okay. And then he's actually paid. So surprisingly, the Salamanca twins, Marco and Liano, didn't kill him, which that's what they usually do, is kill everybody. So that was nice. Walt gets mad at Gale for a temperature gauge being wrong. The batch is ruined. Or maybe Walt is just saying that so he can get rid of Gale. Marie gives examples of Hank lying about the Jesse Pinkman situation. Kind of a long, boring dialogue. I know it's important, but I feel that scene went on too long where it kind of lost my interest for 3 or 4 minutes there. Walt makes a call saying the Gale situation isn't working out. Walt's talking with Gus Fring. He tells him the lab is mine and I know how to run it best. Walt tells Jesse that there's a job opening. I need a new lab assistant. Jesse declines. Walt says it's more than an assistant. I need a partner. $1.5 million each. Jesse still says no. I'm not turning down the money. I'm turning down you. I want nothing to do with you. Ever since I met you, everything I cared about is gone. I have nothing. No one. It's all gone. Get it? Great dialogue by Aaron Paul as Jesse Pinkman. You don't give a shit about me. You said I was no good. I'm nothing. My meth is inferior to yours. My cook was garbage. Screw you, man. Walt says, your meth is good. Jesse, as good as mine. And then Walt leaves. Great dialogue, seriously, by Aaron Paul. He killed it in that scene. When Walt arrives home, Jesse calls him and says, 50-50? And Walt says, yes, 50-50. And then Jesse says, okay, partners. I'm surprised he didn't add bitch at the end of that. Hank gives his statement, and then they double check if that's the statement that he wants to give. Hank says that's the way it happened. I accept the consequences. Murkett says that due to this information, he asks Hank to hand over his badge and his gun, and then Hank leaves. And then Murkett meets up with him and says, just to let you know, Pinkman isn't pressing charges. And we see that Hank has picked up some flowers, and then Hank gets a phone call when he's in his vehicle. The person on the other line with a voice changer thing or voice whatever says 2 men are coming to kill you. You have 1 minute. 1 minute's the title of the episode. So Hank calls Steve Gomez and leaves a message about that call being dumb by his standards, even by his standards. And then Hank sees the Salamanca twins coming once it gets to 3:08 p.m. The Salamanca twins kind of split up. One goes this way, one goes that way. And then we see Liano, and I had to look it up which one that Hank does away with, Liano and Marco, because I have no idea how to tell them apart, with his gun drawn through the mirror. So he starts shooting, and Hank had already put the vehicle in reverse, and Liano is able to hit Hank with a shot right around the shoulder, the right shoulder, and once Liano gets hit by the vehicle, he drops his gun in Hank's vehicle. Now Marco is coming, he fires at Hank, the vehicle, and Liano is badly hurt. He got squished in his stomach, and yeah, he's going to be bad off. Or maybe it was lower part, but I thought it was more of the midsection, but it might have been even lower than the midsection. But Marco shoots an innocent bystander and is about to shoot a woman, but he has to reload. And then Hank fires 5 shots into Marco, and they don't do anything, as he got that vest from earlier from the arms dealer. And then Marco fires 2 shots, one to Hank's lower midsection, and then one to Hank's right here, his lung. And then Marco stands over Hank, ready to deliver the fatal blow, but he decides he needs to end it with the axe, because we know the Salamanca twins love that axe. So he goes to grab it, and then Hank finds a bullet on the ground that Marco had dropped, and he's able to shoot Marco in the head as he lifted up the axe. So Hank lays there to end the episode. So pretty intense, crazy thing. Our crazy stuff in Breaking Bad. This episode was great for dialogue. And then the moment with the Salamanca twins and Hank Schrader. Awesome moment. I have to give this episode a 10 out of 10. It was just that good. And then as far as my character of the episode, I mean, Hank, Jesse, either one of them. Obviously, Hank did more, but the dialogue by Aaron Paul was just great. And then Marie for trying to convince Hank to do things, lie and all that. So Skyler really didn't have much of a role in this episode. So you've heard everything that I have to say. Now it's your turn. If you're a fan of Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, or even El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie, and you want to discuss Breaking Bad, please consider Hulk smashing that like button, as YouTube tells me that I don't get enough likes, and it does help out with the YouTube algorithm. Share the video with a friend. Put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section and discuss Breaking Bad with me and Crazy Coffee Man. What would you rate this episode? One of my favorite episodes of Breaking Bad. Who would be your male character of the episode? Who would be your female character? Or you can just choose one. And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. You are watching the video anyway. Subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And JDev will return.